To listen to the summary of life-changing audiobooks, do not forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. So let's start with Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. So let's start the summary here. Before that, read a book called Deep Work. The important question is, what exactly are you going to learn by reading or listening to this summary? The answer is that after reading or listening to this summary, you will come to know how professionals nowadays focus more on quantity than quality, and how this is affecting the quality of the job. This thing is making today's young professionals like puppets who start multitasking in order to deal with multiple emails and projects simultaneously, due to which the quality, which is called deep work, does not come in their work. And the meaning of deep work is, it is about working with full focus without any distraction, which also means that today's professionals should set their priorities. He is educated from MIT and is also the author of this book. He also claims that corporate race. This is the best way to protect yourself from. That you should take a break from technology and social media for some time and give yourself some quality time so that you get a chance to do self-examination alone and you can look at your shortcomings and improvements. Then the matter is such that this deep work is very important, not only because distraction is a bad habit, but also because it can take you from point A to point B in minimum time. So this summary is divided into two parts. The first part is that the idea is that it has 3 chapters. So let's know about the first chapter, where we will get to know why deep work is valuable. This means that if you want to make a significant place in the society, then you will have to do these 2 things. First is the ability to learn things, and second is the ability to finish any important task with quality and speed. So here, to achieve quality work, we take an equation which is like this. Quality work produced is equal to time spent multiplied by intensity of focus. This means that if you want to do quality work, then either spend more time on it or increase your focus. Toppers of well-recognized schools already know this equation so that they can focus on it. By increasing our focus, we produce quality work in less time. But to do any focused work, we need to do that work deeply while avoiding multitasking. Although multitasking has become a routine in our present life, meaning it has become a habit. Now take the example of Sophie Leroy, who is a researcher, and she proves that there is a thing called attention residue when you move from task A to task B without finishing task A. When we do this, what happens is that our mind is still thinking about the task at that time, and the more intense this residue is, the worse you will perform on task B. So when you learn the techniques of deep work, which is mentioned in the summary has been given, and when you apply them in your life, then you will be able to produce the highest quality work even in less time. So, let's move ahead with this towards chapter 2, in which you will know that deep work is rare. Tom Cohen observed that every day he spends about 1.5 hours just reading and replying to emails. So he thought about the impact of this on the company and what contribution an individual makes to the company. So he collected some details, like typing of all sent emails. When they calculated the reading speed and salary of the employees through analytical system, they found out that reading each email cost 195 cents in terms of labor. So many companies like etc. are adopting the concept of the hall, in which there is an open space office and every employee gets a separate cabin so that they can interact with each other and share their ideas. But it also distracts them as it keeps them out of deep work zone. People also confuse business with productivity without a clear understanding of what it takes to be valuable in your job and be productive. Many knowledgeable workers make the same mistake as the industry indicator of productivity, doing too many things at once. A lot of employees do this. They start doing any work that is in front of them so that they feel that they do a lot of work. And also, as the trend nowadays is that the work which is related to the internet will be considered productive. So these people, due to all the reasons, deep work is becoming rare, because in a way it is good news for you, because the one who can do deep work will compete with anyone and will easily leave behind his coworkers. Let's move ahead. Chapter number 3. which says, "Deep work is meaningful." Yes, Rick Furyk is a blacksmith. He is a specialist in anset and metalworking practices which he creates with great effort in his shop. If he has to make a sword, then he has to make it by hand. It will take a full 8 hours, and every time the blow of the hammer should fall on a specific point of the blade. So this type of work requires a lot of concentration, and there should not be any kind of destruction. And you should not be surprised to know why this man does not have any F account, because the ability to focus your attention on something can have a huge impact on your quality of life and can also enhance your level of experience. For example, when Laura uses an MRI scanner to examine her patient's brain activity, she wants to know. This is how a part of the brain, called amygdala, reacts emotionally to positive and negative images. He found that younger patients were affected by both pictures, while older patients were affected only by positive images. But this does not prove that maybe older people were happier, and that's why they liked positive images more. But because their brain was rewired in a way that inspired them to appreciate positive things instead of negative ones, they managed their attention in this way. By doing these, people had improved this world a little for themselves, and the amazing thing is that all this was done by changing only their thoughts and not by any external change. So this thing has also been proved that small things that seem positive, like emails or meeting an old friend or discussing office policies, all of these together build up an image in your mind which makes you think how stressful your life is, how much tension there is, and how much depression you have. And that is because your attention is divided on all these small things. So, always choose your target carefully, and then put your full focus on it. If you say so, then you should try to live a focused life, which is the best. Like Vihai is a famous psychologist who has come up with ECM, i.e., Experience Sampling Method, which is a technique in which you record your feeling on a particular movement, which means that it proves that whatever best movement of your life happens to you. Yes, that's exactly what happens when your mind and your body are going through a difficult time. And to achieve something valuable, you can be happy with yourself, and this mental state is called flow, on which a book has also been written. So with this, part 1 of the idea ends here, and part 2 is discussed further. If we talk about it, then those are the rules. Yes, there are some rules and some methods to achieve deep work. Let's know. The first method is work deep. Eudaimonia machine is a Greek concept which is about a room where a person can do his work. One can reach full potential and an extreme focused state. So this is a space where you can do deep work. This is a space of 5 rooms which are interconnected, and to reach room number 5, you have to go through the first room. You will have to go through number 4, 321. You cannot bypass any stage of the top machine. In the first room, you are given a little stress to tell you that the work you are about to do is very important. And in the second room, the work is created inside you. Curiosity related to the problem is aroused so that you start thinking about it. In the third room, you will find all the records that are necessary to complete your work, so that when you start working, you do not have to leave it in the middle. In the fourth room, you write down all the ideas related to your work on a piece of paper. And the fifth room is soundproof. Yes, it is separate from all others, so that no one disturbs you while doing that work. This is the room where deep work is done. You concentrate for 19 minutes and take a break of 19 minutes so that you get the maximum benefit of your human brain. But unfortunately, this vision is still far from our current reality. Instead, if we still consider ourselves as open space, and according to this book, then you can do shallow work in a way. That is, such work which does not require any brain power and the result is not known. Then this work is called shallow work, which you are forced to do. But if you follow the rules, then you will be able to do the same in your work. You can get the same effect as if you are inside a eudaimonia machine of deep work. The secret to developing a habit is to go beyond good intentions. Try to get into a state of deep work and add routines and steps to your daily working life that are designed in this way. By using your willpower in a minimal amount, you can be in such a state of mind in which your concentration does not break at all, because willpower is like a mobile battery which keeps on decreasing with time. So here we are telling you, I am telling you 4 such strategies which can take the mind to the stage of deep work. The first is the monistic approach. This strategy is based only on isolating yourself from every distraction in life. In this approach, you cannot go to a temple. They are like priests who always keep themselves away from any kind of distracting thing. Like if you are preparing for an IAS exam and you do not keep any contact with anyone other than your parents, then now, to understand this a little better, we will take For example, Donald Trump is very famous for his many innovations in computer science, especially for the development of analog algorithm performance, which is a very difficult approach. So, when you check his website at Stanford, you will not find any email address of his. However, there will be a note in which it is written that I am very happy since 1st January 1990, since I did not have any email address. That is, till 1975. I used to use email, and I used to think that 15 days of life are spent in it. There are many years to use email. Email is very useful for those people whose role is to remain at the top of life, but not for me, because my role is at the bottom of things, and by not using it, I get uninterrupted concentration, and a lot of time in which I can study. So obviously, he did not isolate himself from the world, because he gave his postal address. He said that his assistant sorts out the letters and replies to the important letters. We give those who practice monastic philosophy have a very defined and highly valued professional goal, which they follow completely, and most of the credit for their professional success goes to following this one thing very well. So with this now. Next, let us know about the second strategy, which is the bimodal approach. Yes, this strategy is for those who cannot isolate themselves from the world completely. Revolution psychologist and thinker adopted this strategy. He used to lock himself in his room for a few hours in the morning. He used to keep writing, and then while walking in the forest, he used to think over whatever he had written, and then later he had to go to attend his lectures and also to the clinic to earn money. So according to this philosophy, you have to divide your time in which you have to give some time slots only to those tasks which are most important for you, and give the rest of the time to your other tasks. In his deep time, bimodal worker does mischievous work by switching off his cell phone. You will stay away from everything, like you stay in your room for 2 hours. If you go to study and your phone is also switched off so that there is no distraction, and then you go out of the room and live a normal life again for an hour, then this bimodal philosophy believes that deep work, extreme productivity can be achieved through this, but only when the person doing it works with maximum concentration, a state where a real breakthrough takes place. Yes. And along with this comes the third technique, which is rhythmic philosophy. As some people call it, the chain method. To apply this method, a specific time can be chosen every day to do this particular activity. And every day when you finish that task, you have to put a big red cross on the calendar. And you should keep doing this until you see the chain of red crosses growing. Just keep in mind that this chain should not be cut. Along with this, let us further know about the fourth strategy, which is the journalistic approach. Yes, if you are very busy the whole day, then try this approach. You can follow this. In this, you should act like a journalist. As soon as you get free time, even if it is half an hour, do your deep work. This means that if you know that you are going to be free from 5 to 5:30, then take out your mobile switch off the phone and sit down in an isolated place to complete your important task. That is, what actions do you have to take? So during his book On the Origin of Space, Charles Darwin's working life had a very strict structure. As his son Francis later told that Darwin used to wake up at 7 in the morning and do a short work. Then he used to sit alone and eat his breakfast, and between 8 and 9:30 he used to go to study, and for the next 1 hour he used to study. He would check the letters from the previous day, after which he would study again from 10:30 a.m. to noon. After this session, he would take a walk around his property from his greenhouse to think deeply about ideas that he found challenging. Used to think over it till they got rid of their thinking. You must be feeling satisfied that this is right. It is the best. You should do it, and you can do it, because people have got results from it. So where will you work, and for how long? Think about it beforehand, because you will have to choose a location. You will have to choose where you can do deep work and give efforts. Once you start, think about how you will work on it. For this, you need rules and process so that your efforts can be structured like the internet. Switching off, etc. So that your time is not wasted while doing deep work, so that your willpower battery does not get drained by thinking about all this. How will you support your work? For this, you will have to answer that for your brain to reach a high-level depth. For example, you can start your day with a cup of coffee and think about everything beforehand, so that your mental energy is not wasted thinking about what is required of you for that movement. And no further about the grand gesture. Yes, J.K. Rowling is making her last film in the Harry Potter series. She couldn't finish the book at home. The dogs barking, the kids making noise, and even the window cleaner was making her unable to concentrate deeply. So what did she do? She made a grand gesture and straight away went to stay in a hotel. She went to the state, which was expensive, but after going there, she could easily go into deep work peacefully. So when you invest in going to this state, you get the benefit because you can earn 100% from it. You will definitely achieve it and also avoid procrastination. So should you work alone? The question is that collaboration gives birth to new ideas and innovation. However, your concentration should not be disturbed because of this. Of course, you should be inspired by others, but to think deeply, you should work alone. Yes, if there is someone who thinks like you, then it is a different matter. Then you will definitely get success. And if you want to execute like a boss, then a big company like Intel has adopted a working strategy based on a published research. The author of the book describes the CEO as, "It tells what to do, not how to do it." And there is a lot of difference in the answer to these two questions, and this is explained by the 4 disciplines of execution, and the same principles can be applied for deep work as well. The first discipline is widely. Focus on the important. It will be easier to focus on deep work rather than achieving many small goals, and motivation makes a lot of difference in this. The second discipline is to act on lead measures to improve in any field. If you want any kind of feedback, then there are 2 ways by which you can measure your performance, and these are leg measures and lead measures. Yes, let us understand this with an example. What are these leg measures and lead measures? Suppose you are a student and your mock test is about to take place. Then the marks you get in the test are leg measures. And now that you have given the exam, you cannot change your marks, but it gives you an important feedback and helps you in improving your performance. Mock test results. According to this, if you devote 1 hour daily to your weak subject, then this is lead measures, because with this technique, there will be a lot of improvement in your future performance. So, to improve in a certain area, you need to use leg wagers and lead measures. Both are needed. Next is the third discipline, which is to keep a complaining scoreboard. Yes, in comparison to this step, you will have to keep a record of your progress to get more success and increase your composure. The fourth discipline is to be accountable to keep yourself motivated. For this, keep checking your score every week and make it your regular habit. But the thing is that no matter what you do, this laziness does not go away. So we would say that according to this book, you should also become lazy. It is good for us. Yes, be happy. Always give yourself a chance to stop everything for some time so that you can give better output in your work, which means taking rest. And the first reason is that when you take rest, so your performance also improves a lot. Whenever you are in rest mode, Your unconscious mind is able to tackle big information better than when your conscious mind is active, which improves your problem solving and decision. Reason is that it helps you recharge your energy so that you can do deep work. And the third reason is that most of the time while working your maximum energy gets used up, due to which you will get tired. And then you can do your deep work in the evening. If you are not able to work, then the thing is that this is the best time for you to take rest. Yes, it is a different thing that if you have done shallow work, like a donkey the whole day, that is, you have done work without brains, then you will not get tired. Let's do all this. Now that we have discussed this, let us focus on rule number 2, i.e., method number 2, which is to embrace boredom. It means that there was a Zoroastrian man who used to wake up every morning and read his religious books, reading the same book again and again. By reading this method, his mind gets activated in this way. He was trained in this way that he used to read books every day with full concentration. Yes, concentration can actually be achieved by practicing in this way. It means that if you feel that you need it, then you can do it. So we all have this ability inside us, but we don't want to try it. Come on, once again, now that you know, you can try it. However, you always have to keep in mind that while focusing, keep taking breaks in between. Focus while taking breaks. This may seem like an obvious thing, but it is also true that this is why we get distracted. If we look at the first point, if your work involves a lot of use of the internet and you have to reply to a lot of emails, then this strategy will be useful for you. The second point is that it does not matter how you schedule your internet intervals, but you will have to strictly give some free time to yourself in which there is no use of internet at all. And the third point is that if you decide that you will use the internet at home or office, if you use it only at a particular time, then your concentration can be improved a lot. And the third rule is to leave social media. I am very sad to hear this from you, but the thing is that according to this book, 12 Tunde Thrust's his friends used to call him the world's most connected person. He decided to leave his online life for 25 days, and after the first week, he started getting used to it. The pace of his life had slowed down, but then when the 25th days passed, and he started staying online again, but this time more than before. It is neither possible to leave anything completely, nor is there a solution. So it is better that you consider the internet as a necessity of today's life. Keep using it. Sometimes it is beneficial, and now take the example of social media. Sometimes it helps you in achieving a goal in your life, and if seen, it has not just one, but many such benefits instead of this. If you look at the negative side, and then there is the 80-20 rule, that 20% of your work produces 80% result. So you should start investing your maximum time in these 20%, so that the result is drawing. So do not keep yourself away from the internet for 30 days. Keep it. And if you think that you are enjoying these 30 days using internet, or people are missing you like crazy, that why you are not online, then of course you can go online again. And if you are not interested, then keep a distance from the internet. Now, when you try it, then you will understand exactly what it is and what the situation is like. So, write in a side note that you are going offline for a few days. Usually a person uses internet for 8 hours in a day. He works for 16 hours, which means he is free for 16 hours. So why waste this time just surfing the internet? It is better to gain self-development experience. This can be decided first to avoid boredom, that in this free time what to do so that you can become more efficient. And the fourth rule ahead is drain the shallow. A software company named 37 Signals had reduced its working days from 5 to 4, and still there was no difference in its production. Some people, you will argue that, how can this happen? It does not happen like this. But it happened because the employees of this company gave a lot of importance to time to finish their work. They almost completely eliminated shallow work from their work. And when you replace shallow work with deep work, you will see how you get extraordinary results. Yes, of course you have to reach your physical limit, as studies have shown that 4 hours of deep work is enough. There is maximum time. Yes, it is a different matter for rare individuals. If you do deep work, then you can achieve in 4 hours what other people achieve in 8 hours. So let us know. What is shallow class? Shallow class is that in which your brain. There is not much use of shallow. Over in which you work lazily, and while doing, which you get distracted again and again. Shallow over do not add much value to the world, and it can be easily recycled. Shallow over. To do Como ID, you have to stay away from everyone's reach. This means that the sender who sends you emails will value your time before sending any email, and will very thoughtfully send you only those emails which are very important and which need a reply. You will reply only when you feel it is really necessary. And if replying or checking the email does not suit your valuable time, then the person sending the email will not send you any emails in the first place, so that you can avoid unnecessary shallow works. You will be saved. And if you think deeply about what to reply as a reply, then your answer is not roundabout but clear. And there is a conclusion in it. The second option is not to reply. If you feel that, if you are unable to understand anything clearly in this and are unable to give any answer, if there is no question or proposal of your interest in this, or if you reply, nothing special is going to happen, and neither will there be any harm by not replying, then. The point is that what did you learn from this summary? We learned in the summary. What is the difference between deep and shallow work? We also learned 4 ways of doing deep work in it, which are monistic approach, bimodal approach, rhythmic approach, and journalistic approach. And most of all, the most important thing that we have learned is how to avoid the destruction of social media and internet. And if we apply all the rules of this summary, then there is no doubt that despite working deeper than before, we will be able to stay happy with our families, and you will be able to spend more time with friends as well. I hope you liked this summary. See you with another new summary. Till then, stay happy and healthy.